See, the news starts now with breaking news.
Well, thank you for joining us here on The News at Noon. I'm Mike Silo. We do have breaking news in Savannah where we are getting new details about that massive fire that happened this morning around 10 o'clock on Abercorn Street in Savannah on the south side. It happened about 9:30 this morning at the AutoNation Volkswagen dealership. There are no injuries at this time to report, which is good news, but crews continue fighting that blaze. Now about 2.5 hours after that initial call, Joe Hennessy has been there all morning long. Joe, what can you tell us?
Yeah, that call coming in at about 9:40 this morning. What we've learned, 3 employees were inside when the fire started. They say it involved a car in the back. As you can see, that is where this fire started. Now, the employees, they did try to fight the fire themselves, grabbing an extinguisher, trying to handle it themselves, but then the fire just got bigger. There are elements inside, like more cars and gasoline, that make it larger in just minutes. Now, all 3 men, they did make it, or employees, excuse me, did make it out safe, because as you can see, the fire destroyed parts of the entire building. So that is where it started, and then it came all the way through the front, and there's also a second floor inside that the AutoNation company uses. So you are seeing some video from earlier when we first got here with the blaze being extremely large. Smoke could be seen for miles away. It was all black, and then as the crews fought it both from the ground and using a crane above, that smoke starting to change color, but that did not mean it was safe inside. So fire officials tell us there were about 60 firefighters in total. Their partners like the ATF and the arson team, and more than a dozen apparatuses used this morning to fight this fire. At this time, they believe it is accidental. It is accidental. One of the employees, they just saw the fire and then it got to where it is now. Crews are starting to wrap up, as you can see as well. The hoses are starting to go away, which is good news, but obviously there's a lot left in store for what's to come next. I did speak to someone earlier this morning when I first got here, when the smoke was still rather large, about did you hear anything, or was it just the smoke? They said just the smoke. So when we asked the assistant fire chief, said the same thing. They're not using the term explosion. It doesn't follow that terminology. It's just a very large fire that got out of control very quickly this morning. So here we are about 2 hours after that initial call came in. Crews still here monitoring the scene, so we hope to have some more details for you as the day progresses. Also, Abercorn was completely shut down from Stevenson all the way here to Eisenhower. Northbound lanes have reopened. Southbound remains closed as crews continue working here at the AutoNation building on Abercorn. In Savannah, Joe Hennessy, WTOC News.
All right, thank you, Joe. We do want to give you a little more perspective on that area, which was closed down a little bit earlier. Again, Abercorn Street, very busy road in Savannah, probably the most heavily traveled. If you want to know, it is a longest road in Savannah as well, but this is on the south side, and the fire bringing to a halt busy traffic this morning as people were trying to get to work. Northbound Abercorn, as Joe has said, has reopened, but the southbound lanes remain closed at this time. So please be aware of that as you move through this afternoon.